So he wanted to go up and fight Islam Makhachev at 155. And Topuria, he's in real trouble. Islam looked like Michelangelo sculpted him. You don't fight Islam on 10 days' notice. He's as good as he's the most complete fighter on the roster because he submits people. Like he submitted Poirier in the final round. He can also knock you out. He literally does everything. He's one of the best wrestlers in the sport. His top control and his squeeze is insane. And Topuria, he's in real trouble.
Yeah.
Joe Rogan's stark warning echoes through the combat sports world. Ilia Topuria might be biting off more than he can chew against Islam Makhachev. During a recent podcast, Rogan highlighted the massive size discrepancy that could spell disaster for Topuria. Weighing around 180 pounds outside of camp, Topuria faces a Goliath in Makhachev, a champion known for his ruthless ground game and 4 consecutive title defenses. Bombshell warning: Jorge Masvidal's controversial bet might be more than just talk, but the size difference could be Topuria's ultimate downfall.
There's a lot of good fights coming up. I'm wondering what they're going to do
card
with Topuria, but I like what you were saying. Topuria versus Oliveira.
Your first introduction at 55. He's kind of the
Oliveira's
king
so
of 55
tall
and dangerous.
So dangerous everywhere. Dangerous striking. Huge reach advantage.
Yeah. But if you're Topuria, you're not going to go up to 55 without some sort of guarantee. Because remember, he's giving up the belt, so he's not getting pay-per-view points.
But it's his idea.
Well, because the weight cut's too tough.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Really?
45's too tough for him.
But he's been doing it and winning.
He's just sick of it.
Yeah, I would imagine.
Apparently, that last cut was really tough, and his team was like, "All right, no more."
Wow.
But
so what is he weighing?
You're not going to give up the pay-per-view points and just dip out and then just go into the queue at 55.
What was he weighing when he was fighting 45? What was he walking around?
They were saying like 180 between 170.
Really?
Yeah, big. Like that's the thing. It was like, oh, he's too small. 55. I'm like, he's fucking big out of camp.
Yeah, but those guys are real big. Like Islam's huge.
Can Ilia Topuria's technical brilliance overcome Islam Makhachev's overwhelming physical advantage? Is this potential matchup a calculated risk or a career-ending mistake for the rising star? The MMA world holds its breath, waiting to see if David can truly slay Goliath in the most unforgiving proving ground on earth.
Topuria has felt like he's done all that he can in that division, and he feels like he's cemented his legacy, and his body cannot make the weight anymore, so Topuria will be moving up to 155 pounds and will be vacating the featherweight title.
Ilia Topuria's decision to abandon his featherweight throne isn't just a career move, it's a high-stakes gamble that has the entire MMA world on edge. When Dana White announced Topuria's weight class jump, the immediate question thundered through the combat sports landscape. Could he challenge Islam Makhachev?
Crazy as it sounds, I hope Ilia goes up to 55. I really do. Volkanovski, Diego Lopez, 45.
I'll take that.
Ilia goes up to 55. Fuck, I don't care if he only defended the title one time or didn't.
Agree.
Who cares?
You want Ilia to fight Makhachev?
Let's go.
Oh.
Let's fucking go. If you want to make the big fight for
big.
July, you want to make that big fight in July, is it the Volkanovski rematch? I don't know. I think Volkanovski's, people want to probably see him win one.
Rogan. I don't think that's happening. I wonder what they're going to do with Topuria. I like Topuria versus Oliveira. Oliveira is so tall, so dangerous everywhere, huge reach advantage. Those lightweights are real big. Islam's huge. The numbers are brutal and unforgiving. Topuria, previously a dominant force at 145 pounds, now faces lightweight competitors weighing around 180 pounds. Makhachev's reluctance to immediately grant a title shot isn't just caution, it's a mathematical reality check.
Of course, Islam is a huge champion and he has a huge audience and he's very good. But I don't know, to UFC start to see you as a potential superstar like he wants to be is not easy. So I don't know. And about me fighting for the belt against him, I don't mind, I don't care. And if it doesn't happen, it's not on my control. My only control is training, show up, say some funny, and win fights.
Jorge Masvidal's bold claim that he'd bet the house on Ilia sounds more like wishful thinking than strategic analysis. The size discrepancy is real. Islam Makhachev isn't just a champion, He's a wrestling machine that has systematically dismantled opponents with a surgical precision that borders on mathematical.
Thing is so dangerous.
He's so big. He's so strong, so good.
What does he weigh? What does he weigh like normal? Like right now, if you called him up, what do you weigh, brother? What would he say?
I would say at least minimum like 185, 190.
Get out of here. He's 210 pounds.
No, it's like
That guy's 250.
Now, let's dive into the explosive truth Chandler just unleashed. Chandler's words cut like a razor-sharp takedown. His first fight in the UFC at lightweight, he got dropped by a head kick, he declares, a pointed reminder of Topuria's vulnerability. The veteran fighter isn't just talking trash. He's exposing the massive gulf between featherweight and lightweight that could spell disaster for the undefeated Spaniard.
Islam is who he said he was, for sure. He is better than a lot of us thought he was. He's better than I gave him credit for. I stand corrected. I don't necessarily think I was speaking out of bounds by saying that we hadn't seen him fight a top 5 guy yet. He beat Bobby Green and then got a title shot after that. So it was like it left a little bit more to be desired to see him go through some guys. I honestly think my wrestling will stop his attacks. I think I can take him down. I think I can match him grappling for grappling. And I think in the striking department, I got more power, I'm faster, and I have better hands. That's me speaking confidently, obviously. A ton of respect for him, but I do think it's the most intriguing matchup in the lightweight division. There's not a better wrestler on the lightweight roster.
The weight controversy takes center stage. Topuria claims he walks around at 180 to 190 pounds, but Chandler isn't buying it. I think he's lying about the weight a little bit, he asserts, having stood next to Topuria and sizing him up personally. It's more than just trash talk. It's a calculated assessment from a man who's been in the trenches of the lightweight division. These are some big dudes. We hit a lot harder than the 145ers, Chandler warns, painting a terrifying picture of the challenges ahead. It's not just about size. It's about survival. The lightweight division isn't just a step up. It's a gladiatorial arena where dreams are crushed and legends are born. The challenge is crystal clear. If Topuria wants a title shot, he needs to prove himself against the top 5 contenders. No shortcuts. No mercy. This isn't just a fight. It's a career-defining moment that could either launch Topuria into superstardom or send him crashing back to earth.
Engaging, you know?
But he has a couple tough matchups, though. Like somebody
There's
like
a lot.
Charles.
Charles is a tough matchup. That's one that's a tough matchup. You know, Arman's
Arman's a tough matchup as well.
Tough matchup as well. I've trained with Arman extensively. Arman's a little bit bigger. That'll be a great fight to see. I think a guy like Chandler, he'd walk through.
Yeah.
There's a lot of guys that are in the top 5 that he'll walk through. You know, Islam's gonna be obviously the toughest tester. But if I'm being honest with you, I'd bet the house on Ilia. That's just me, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm a huge Islam fan. Islam is a fucking animal. Fucking one of the very, very best. If he's not number 1 pound for pound, he's number 2. But I think Ilia is gonna show the whole world.
He's too dangerous on the feet, Ilia.
Yeah,
and
he hasn't had to show it yet, but his grappling offensively, it's very good. If like you shoot it on this guy.
Things are not as simple as they seem. While Matt Brown passionately advocates for Ilia Topuria's title shot, the reality of the UFC lightweight division is far more complex. Brown's stance cuts through the noise with surgical precision. I give it to Ilia. We've talked about it, Islam. He'll give resistance to that. He'll try for that not to be the fight. Rightfully enough, I think he should, but I don't feel like anybody else has done anything significant to be just clear. That's why there's 4 of them, vying for a title shot.
The UFC has said, like, they haven't booked this fight. There's no guarantee he's going to get Islam in his debut. And let me say this, man.
And if I'm Islam, like, I don't take that fight. I don't try to make that fight happen. I totally agree with what he said. He was like, I don't need to fight another blown up 45-pounder.
And I kind of agree with Islam. Like, what does Islam have to gain right now? Because if he goes out there and steamrolls Ilia Topuria, people are going to say, oh, you beat a featherweight.
Again. Yeah.
Yeah, like what does he gain? Like what you know what I mean? Like what does he gain out of it?
Like he already did that too.
Yeah. To a more established champion, you could argue. Like at that point, Volkanovski was a more established champion.
Yeah, and I thought I heard Islam had said that when he's like, I don't need to fight another blown up 45er. So, and I think he's got a great point there. But with what Islam is, or I mean, I'm sorry, what Ilia has done, I feel like he has earned, the chance to fight for a title in basically every division too, though. So, but yeah, I agree with you that, let him fight one and then, earn his way to the title. But man, who's he fight? Like, that's exciting, right? You mentioned like Charles Oliveira. I'm like, fuck yeah, who else is out there for him to fight? I mean, Arman, yeah, you mentioned Arman. Like, that's exciting as hell. And that's a sort of I guess you call it like a test to see if he could compete with Islam too, right? Like, very stylistically, a lot of similarities there. So yeah, that's a good one too. But man, Charles, that excited me when you said that though. I was like, that could be Charles is always fun to watch. Just my first thought when I heard it was like, he's pretty small for 55. I felt like he wasn't big for 45. I was surprised that he said he had a hard time making that weight. I mean, I've always seen him on TV. I haven't seen him in person or anything, but I wonder if he said he like drinks wine when he cuts weight. Like, maybe that's why you're not making weight, buddy. Like, stop drinking wine, fucking drink some water, bro.
I don't think there's anything wrong with him getting one fight and winning and getting a title shot.
Yeah,
And because I get what Islam's saying, like, what is it, because
that's what I'm saying. It's more like from Islam's side, it doesn't make sense. For Ilia, like, I mean, he beat Max and Volk. Like, yeah, he kind of earned his way to any title shot, but for Islam, it makes no sense. So I get both sides, and Islam's the champ. So yeah, you should have to get a fight to go fight him.
The veteran's perspective is razor sharp. He sees what others might miss, a potential superstar in the making. No one has stuck out so much that you're like, okay, this guy should get the fight. I say give the opportunity to Ilia. Go see if it works for him. If it does, then you have an even more ginormous star in Ilia. But not everyone is on the same page. Jorge Masvidal's bold proclamation adds another layer of intrigue. I'd bet the house on Ilia. I've seen Ilia go against high-level wrestlers, guys who wrestled their whole lives. Olympians, one mistake, and they're fucking tapping. He'll be able to defend himself.
Islam, you have a crazy, dangerous opponent with Arman Tsarukyan, so sorry to talk about something else, but one guy that keeps talking about you also is Ilia Topuria. Do you have a message for him? He really wants to fight you next year.
No, man. I'm tired to give chance the small guys, I need my second belt, It's nothing excited. He's a good fighter, he's a good skills fighter, but I don't want to give him chance, I need second belt. They fight for what? For me, it's nothing. Just his name. I don't need his name. I need the belt.
The controversy intensifies. Islam Makhachev, the dominant lightweight champion, remains hesitant. Dana White confirms multiple contenders are waiting in the wings: Justin Gaethje, Arman Tsarukyan, and Topuria himself. Want more explosive UFC breakdowns? We're your insider's guide to the most unpredictable sport on the planet. Subscribe now and never miss the stories that define combat sports. Your voice matters. Drop a comment, share your hottest take on Topuria versus Makhachev, and become part of our MMA community.